Okay, so I am Ali Guarneros Luna, project manager for NASA Ames Research Center, and I'm the proud winner of 2021 Inclusive Leader Award during the virtual ceremony. This is my first time to be with this wonderful community, and I could not be more honored to introduce my NASA colleague and distinguished inclusive leader, Gregory Robinson. In this vast universe and space exploration, few individuals possess a journey as our inspiration as Gregory Robinson. From humble beginnings, as the 8th child of a tobacco sharecropper in rural Virginia, to becoming the program director of NASA's renowned James Webb Telescope. Gregory's journey serves as a beacon to inspiring STEM students. Throughout his 3-decade career as a NASA, Gregory demonstrated remarkable vision, tenacity, and the ability to guide teams towards achieving extraordinary goals. But it was Greg's unwavering belief in the telescope's success that was instrumental in his triumphant launch in December 2021. His ability to channel the force of human nature and ingenuity brings together NASA, Congress, foreign space agencies, and aerospace companies, earned him the recognition as one of the Time magazine's most influential people from 2022. Tonight, we honor Gregory Robinson with the Inclusive Leadership Award in Aerospace for a career that will continue to inspire future generations to quite literally reach for the stars. Join me to congratulate Gregory Robinson, Space and Aerospace.
Thank you for the introduction. I had my notes on my phone, and I just lost them somehow. I think that FBI person up here with the AI thing caused all of that. So I'm going to just go from the heart. First, I'm honored to receive this award from GlobalMindED, and I'll tell you, I marvel at all of the great work that GlobalMindED is doing for students. I was one of you, and I still am today. And so my story, I grew up in rural Southern Virginia a long time ago, and it was segregated back then. And when I went to 5th grade, for the young folks in the room, segregated means black and white did things separately. But when I went to the 5th grade, schools were desegregated in that part of Virginia. And in my 5th grade class, the teacher held every 2 weeks, every other Friday, a spelling bee. And you know, all the kids stand up. I don't know if they still do this today. All the kids stand up and she gives you a word. If you miss it, you sit down, and the other ones keep standing. And I was one of the ones standing all the time, and one other girl, just happened to be white, was also standing all the time. And so we did this throughout the year, and when we got to the final few weeks of class, we had the grand finale, and I can tell you I was the last one standing. And although I knew I was always smart, that kind of put the nail in the coffin, solidified that I was smart and could compete with anyone. And I still believe that today. But those beginnings it taught me a lot. One is this young lady was very gracious when she lost, and the times I lost during the year, I was quite gracious. So I also learned that diversity was important. We could actually push each other to be better and to do better. So that was a huge lesson for me. So I liked math and science. I was pretty good at it, but I didn't have any role models. Certainly at that time in that part of the country, it just didn't exist. But I went to school on a football scholarship. Thank God for that, and thank the coach. But as my wife and my kids always tease me, I never played. But that was my ticket, and there are many stories like that with the ticket just to get out. And I already had all of the other stuff to get me there. So eventually I got a degree in math and engineering and went on to get an MBA. And, and eventually, I ended up at NASA. And after 33 years working at NASA, during that last 4.5 years, I led the James Webb Space Telescope, as you heard in the introduction, over the goal line. And it's changing humanity all over the world, and will be for many years to come, and I'm quite proud of that. From a mentoring standpoint, I mentioned I didn't have mentors growing up. I think it would have helped me determine which classes to take, who to stay away from, those kinds of things. And as I grew, I learned that mentoring, I don't like the whole formal mentoring thing. I know in many organizations, certainly in NASA, we have a lot of formal mentoring programs. There's a burden to it. You have to write reports and do all these, get on calendars and things like that. And I think mentoring should be a normal and natural activity. I don't think you need to do anything formal. I don't like the calendar thing or doing reports. So I just do it naturally. I think it's normal to just give back some kind words, a pat on the back. All of those things matter. And as I got older, some of those things helped me along as well. And so I have 100 examples, but I'll just give you one. When I was deputy director of the Glenn Research Center, a young man who was an engineer at NASA's Goddard Space Flight Center wanted to go to med school. So he ended up going out to Case Western University in Cleveland. And his program, he had to do an internship that complemented what he was studying in med school. And his interest was helping people live long-term in space. And so I helped him get an internship at the Glenn Research Center as deputy director. It made it kind of easy for me. And I'm sure he will help us as we go back to the moon and as we go into Mars for long-term stay. So lastly, I hope and pray that my journey will be an inspiration, certainly to young people all over the globe, and they can reach for the stars as well. Again, thanks, GlobalMindED, and thank you.